Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year again when we discuss our Jupiter transits again. So, this is our year-long ritual. So, yes, we are going to be discussing the transit of Jupiter in the sign of Libra and what happens when Jupiter will transit the sign of Libra this year. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it'll enter the sign of Libra on September 12th. For 1 year. And this is obviously, as you know, sidereal Vedic alignment, not the Western, because now I'll have many people saying, oh, I thought Jupiter was in Libra already. Well, of course, on the tropical side it is. On the Vedic side, it's going to enter. It's in Virgo right now. Okay? So we're going to discuss Jupiter in Libra, and we're also going to emphasize on some of the nakshatra, well, pretty much the nakshatra placements that happened in Libra, because the zodiac sign of Libra, has 2.25 constellations working behind the scenes, or almost 2.5 constellations working behind the scenes, which are known as Chitra, Swati, and Vishaka. And so we're going to see when Jupiter is in Libra and is specifically in these constellations, what is it going to do? And as always, if you do not know what your ascendant is, because you want to see where it's transiting from your ascendant, and if you don't know your moon chart, meaning your moon sign, and making that the ascendant, which is known as Gochar, to see the actual impact of Jupiter and how it's going to impact your mind. For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations here. And I still have that nakshatra reading available on my site right now. So, Jupiter in the sign of Libra. Let's discuss that. So in this dynamic, the very first thing that we want to understand is, what is Libra? Libra represents the original 7th house. It represents everything related to partnership, union, marriage, relationships, agreements, contracts, sharing things, diplomacy, or non-diplomacy, and unbalance or balancing the unbalanced. See, the thing is about Libra, you have to understand, people think Libra is a balanced sign. Like, they will see the scales as a symbol and they're like, Libra is such balanced people. That's the thing. Libra life is not balanced. It's not balanced. They're always trying to balance it. That's the scales. Otherwise, if the life is balanced, why do they have to always run into problems and struggles and contemplation and procrastination when it comes to relationships? Because Libra is an unbalanced sign. It's not a balanced sign. You are here to balance the things which are being controlled by Libra in your horoscope. So you have to understand, you have to look, which house is Libra in my birth chart? Because you will see that particular area of your life is the most unbalanced. And you're always trying to balance it out. Whether it's your 1st house, 7th house, 10th house, 4th house, you're always trying to balance it out. It's not something that is already there for you. And you have to also understand, whichever house Libra is in, that's where you always try to make negotiations, try to make deals, try to be diplomatic, and try to be liberal towards that house. And this is a sign, which is an air sign, which is about the communication to negotiate, meaning, like the Vata energy, the air sign, it's about communication for love, communication for a relationship, to make that agreement. I mean, how do you fall in a relationship? Do you just look at the person and like, yes, you're the one for me? No, we're not in Stritiyug or Satyug. Especially in Satyug, you don't need to speak. You already know, yes, I'm supposed to marry you. All right, let's do it. That's not that. This is here, you have to use this airwaves and you have to communicate. You have to talk to make those negotiations. So that's why it's an airy sign, and it's the sign ruled by Venus. Venus is Mool Trikon sign. Mool Trikon placement. So now you are bringing Jupiter into the sign of Libra. Jupiter is what? Growth, expansion, wisdom, gurus, teachers, counselors. Okay? So, guru, the actual guru, meaning that the person that you always imagine with their orange clothes sitting under a tree, reciting some scripture, that's a guru, right? That guru is coming into a house of another guru. Why another guru? See, most people think, especially from Western side, that Venus is a planet of luxury and love and sex and relationship. What they forget, Venus is a guru. There are two gurus in astrology, Venus and Jupiter. So Venus is known as Shukracharya. Now, what's the difference? Well, as you know, mythologically, Jupiter is the teacher of the devas, the light beings. And Venus is the guru of the asuras, the innovators, the scientists, the people who love this material plane, who love to build high things, who love to innovate technology, who are loving that ecstasy of sex and drugs and happiness and movies and having the latest gadget. Those are asuras. So the world is made up of these asuras and devas. So now you're having the lord of this come into this house, and Venus and Jupiter are enemies. They don't like each other. Now understand this. This will give you a very, very good explanation of Jupiter and Libra. So Jupiter is a type of teacher, okay, that does not like to share things. Jupiter is a type of teacher who does not give out anything freely. So if, let's say if you have a Jupiterian-like astrology teacher, he will probably won't be online. And if he is, he will always only cater to a very small group of people, saying that I am only going to give this secret method of astrology to a certain amount of people, and that's it. Only the one who deserves this small amount of information, this most valuable information, only a small amount deserves it, I'll give it to them. You have to be worthy of my allegiance to get this. You have to be worthy of my knowledge to get this knowledge from me. I'm not going to give it out free. Forget it. You want to come learn from me? Well, first you're going to have to do 100,000 mantras of the planet Sun. Once you have done that, come back to me, and then we'll talk about Sun. Then I'll give you the technique. Venus is completely opposite to that. Venus is pretty much like me. Whatever I learn, I give out. Whatever I know, I give out. Because I feel like everybody should know. How is it that people are going to respect astrology if they don't know, if there's lack of information? Because if you hold something back, like, oh, astrology works, but I'm not going to show you how it works. Only a few amount of people know how it works. Okay, well, then the other person is not really going to respect it, because it's like some holy secret guarded information. Where Venus is like, you want to learn? Oh, come on. I got it. Come on, I'll teach you. You want to know that technique? I'll teach you. Come to me. So this is why Venus type schools, you'll understand, any school, let's say, that has Venus in the ascendant, when it was like the first foundation went, any kind of a school online opened up during Venus in the ascendant will have the maximum amount of students. Where Jupiterian things will have very limited, will be very intelligent, don't get me wrong, very intelligent, very sharp, but very limited amount of highest of scholars. Where Venus will have everybody learning the same thing. Whether anybody learns it or not, Venus is like, I'll give it away. So now you see the dynamic of what happens when Jupiter is now coming into this house. House of what? Sharing. House of diplomacy. House of contracts, negotiations. A guru doesn't want to negotiate. Imagine, especially we do that now with our teacher. Yeah, I'll learn from you if you teach it in this and way. Otherwise, I don't want to learn from you. If you do that to a real guru, it's like, get out of here. I don't want to teach you. Why are you negotiating with me? I'm not going to give you these 10 information that you want. I'm going to give you what I want. So you see how Jupiter is selfish. Jupiter is a selfish teacher. Okay? Not a bad teacher. It's selfish. So now here's Jupiter coming into this house. The very first thing that you will notice with Jupiter in Libra is wanting to expand yourself towards your relationship. The relationship of the house, which is dealing, like whatever house that is ruled by Libra in your particular horoscope, you will see this great expansion. Meaning, suddenly there will be expansion of your range of relationship. Your relationship will go wider and deeper. Whether it's your mother, your spouse, your children, you will see those things happen. Okay? Then it's about growth. Expansion, okay? Expansion and growth. So that means there will be growth of relationship. These are the natural karkavastha of Jupiter. Whether Jupiter likes being Libra or not, its job by the Supreme Vishnu, okay, is to always grow and expand. Good or for bad, doesn't matter. Jupiter is blind. Every planet is blind. So if, let's say, imagine I'm blind. I'm coming into the sign of Libra. I don't really care what this sign of Libra is. My job is to do something here and move on. Okay? So my job is to simply expand and grow this house. But then also the third thing that it has to do, it has to give wisdom. Whatever house it rules from your ascendant or the moon, there will be wisdom felt, like you will learn something higher about that house. So let's say if it's transiting your 5th house from the ascendant or the moon, especially the moon can actually signify birth of children. And it can show great amount of wisdom coming through education and children and dealing with children. So that's how you look at it. Now, if you notice, Jupiter's coming from Virgo to Libra. In Virgo, Jupiter criticizes the student. Jupiter does not like doing that. The select few students that it has chosen, out of 1,000, it has only chosen 10 people to be under its discipleship. Okay? When he has this 10 students, he does not like to criticize them. He embraces them as their child. So you're my child. I'm going to teach you like no other. I am going to take you to this loka through my knowledge. I'm going to take you to a brand new loka through my knowledge. Okay? So Jupiter does that. In Virgo, Jupiter was criticizing its student. Jupiter was being selfish, but at the same time nitpicking students. Oh no, you're wrong. Nope, you're not good. Nope, you're doing it wrong. Go back. So Jupiter becomes very critical of its knowledge, of its belief system, and especially in Virgo, a person questions. Because remember, Jupiter is religion, philosophy, spirituality. So then Jupiter questions these things. We question others' religion. We question and criticize other people's philosophy. So on the mundane level, Jupiter in Virgo since last year will show people will question or hate on others' religion, philosophy, spirituality, spiritual views, whatnot. Now it comes into that 7th house, or not the 7th house, sorry, the 7th sign, Libra, which does far better for Jupiter than Virgo. Okay, even though this is his arch enemy, Mercury and Venus are Jupiter's enemy. Okay, because Mercury is the legitimate son, and Venus is the guru that just gives out everything for free. But in Libra, Jupiter loves to gain a relationship. Jupiter loves to expand itself to know more people, to know more highly educated people, philosophical people. That's why Jupiter feels balanced. Jupiter feels like, okay, now it's time for me to expand my knowledge to the world, to everybody that is out there. I'm being forced to do this. Because remember, it's in the house of Shukracharya. That means if Jupiter is going to pay rent to Venus, that, okay, I'm going to live in your house for 1 year, here's the rent. Venus is going to say, okay, you can live here. I don't care, fine. We are enemies. You're like Al Pacino, I'm like Robert De Niro. We hate each other like the movie Heat. But we got to come together. We got to make this happen. Okay? So then Venus says, these are the rules of my house. You can't hide things. You got to respect people equally. Just because remember, it's in Jupiter. Jupiter worries about the caste. As much as you don't think it does, it does. Like you will meet, I was reading this book. God, I forgot the name of the author. He went to India to meet all the spiritual gurus. He meets this astrologer in Banaras. This Bhrigu astrologer or somebody. Okay, and this astrologer did not eat food for 5 days because the maid who came and cooked his food was sick for 5 days. He would not cook his own food because he was a Brahman. My God, why should he cook the food? Or maybe he didn't know how to cook the food. But then this Western author asked him, why don't you get somebody else to cook your food? It's like, no, the only person that is available, she is a untouchable caste, and I do not want her energy on my food. Now, I would be really mad at this guru, right? Like, how can you say this to a human being, that's an untouchable person? How dare you? We had an explanation because that some people are born into a certain caste due to their past life sins. So if let's say you're untouchable, you must have done something really bad in past life to be in that particular space, versus you being a Brahmin and being in a university, like setting in learning something. That's the mentality that he has. Okay? Whether that's a right or not wrong, I'm not a judge of that, but he feels that because of that person's past life sins, her cooking the food for him will bringing that bad energy into the food that he's taking inside. So, and he was a brilliant astrologer. He predicted things like that. He had, I think, some of the rishis come into him, speak through him. I believe that's him. But again, if a person who's that deep in spirituality, he must know something. This is why I've started judging. I stopped giving my opinions to people. I don't do none of that. Whether it's political opinion, personal opinion. There are certain things that are happening beyond our small little tiny intelligence. So same thing happens in Guru. It's like Venus says that you're going to have to give this to everybody. Everybody is equally a child of God, whether it's untouchable, whether it's Kshatri, whether it's Brahman, whether it's Kastarya. So Jupiter is like, all right, I'm not criticizing anymore. I'm not looking into details. I'm not dealing with any of the competition as a guru. I'm just here being liberal. I'm here, just making this contact with other people. Fine. I'm okay. I'm in a much happier place than what I was a year ago. So here Jupiter will most definitely start spreading knowledge. Okay. So you will see, and especially this is where the nakshatras will come into play. When Jupiter transits the Swati nakshatra, okay, which is 640 to 20 degrees is Swati nakshatra. Before that, it is Chitra nakshatra. So between these degrees in Libra, 6 to 20 degrees, Jupiter, when it's in Swati nakshatra, you will notice that suddenly, whichever house Jupiter rules, the knowledge related to that house will expand considerably. You will learn things related to that house. Let's say if it's happening in your 5th house, suddenly you will expand yourself to either teach or to learn through children, or your education will vastly help you to attain more knowledge. Is that Oreo? That's my dog Oreo. Because I'm the only one in the house right now. My wife and my kids are in North Carolina with their family. So I've been alone in the house for the past like 4 days now. Okay. So Swati is a nakshatra, which is an airy nakshatra. It's about spreading things, spreading knowledge. So anything you want to learn, let's say you want to learn about home, real estate, any knowledge, you want to learn more about your mother, you want to learn more about spiritual knowledge. Well, if your 4th house is controlling Libra, it'll expand that. In Chitra side, Jupiter becomes very good actually. It kind of gives you that photographic memory in a way. But in Chitra Nakshatra, there will be more emphasis towards arts, beauty, music, creativity. Chitra is a shining jewel, which is all about creativity. So when Jupiter enters Libra, okay, it'll be all about, actually Jupiter will do that process. It should be doing that. I don't know exactly which nakshatra Jupiter is in, but in the Chitra nakshatra it does that. However, especially when it enters Libra, the sign of Venus of arts and creativity, and Jupiter represents classical arts and music, suddenly there will be great interest towards listening to arts and creative things pertaining to the house. Like in the 9th house, you'll probably love to see like religious based arts. You'll probably watch some TV show showing some, ancient Christian arts. Swati is where the knowledge gets spread. But then Jupiter will enter Vishaka from 20 degrees to, I believe, 3 degrees of Scorpio. In Vishaka, Jupiter is going to become all about bringing a change through knowledge. Jupiter is going to be all about spreading the bad from good through knowledge, because Vishaka is about the 2 branches splitting up. So here Jupiter is going to differentiate the good from bad by giving the right knowledge out. But mainly here, there'll be great enthusiasm and interest towards meeting people which are guru-like, meaning Jupiterian-like, especially pertaining to the house which the sign of Libra rules, or in general, for sure, it'll do that. Like if, let's say, Jupiter is transiting your ascendant, okay, and your Libra ascendant, not only your own wisdom will expand, your knowledge will expand overall. You will have a much more broader view of relationships, but you may have a guru walk up to you, some sort of a guru or teacher walk up to you, start talking to you. Why? Because 1st house is you. Guru has now come into your 1st house, which means Guru is going to come to your 1st house walking as a live Jiva Atma, the live things, which is Jupiter, which is a guru or a husband. So for a woman, they can run into their husband now if it's in the ascendant. I'm going to cover each ascendant on my 2nd channel on YouTube called astrologycares.com. No, not astrologycares.com, Astrology Cares. Just type in Astrology Cares on YouTube. That's my 2nd channel where I only cover transits. So I will go through each house there, but here I just wanted to give you a broader view. Like there will be much more diplomacy in terms of negotiations in world governments. Okay. Now, there's a special phenomenon that's going to happen for a whole year, starting October, is that both Jupiter and Saturn will impact the sign of Libra and Aquarius. Okay. All the air signs are going to become prominently active. Gemini and Aquarius by Saturn and Jupiter, and Libra by Jupiter itself. Which anytime Jupiter and Saturn aspect together a certain house, those houses become the most important for that one particular year. So whichever house Gemini and Aquarius rules, you're going to be dealing with some major transformation and positive changes coming in those houses. But on a mundane level, because I don't know what your ascendant is, so many people have all 12 ascendants. But one thing you will notice is that the communication around the world will become quite mature, diplomatic, serious, not childlike. So whether it's your small gossip communication with friends, or communication about, togetherness and worldness and oneness and social welfare, social reform, all these things will have a very mature way of conversing. So let's say like our current president, Donald Trump, loves his Twitter, man. He loves his Twitter. And he'll say all kinds of nonsensical things and all kinds of funny things or good things or whatever it is. You're going to see that hopefully toned down to a much more mature level. Or he may just quit communicating. Especially if this particular sign is occurring in the 4th house. Like whatever your ascendant is, or whatever from your sign is from the moon sign, if they impact your 4th house, there could be a purchase of property. 5th house and 9th house, there could be birth of children. Or if you want to have children, and let's say your moon sign is Libra, or your moon sign is Gemini, then most definitely you can experience a birth of a child within that 1 year. If it's an 11th house, a lot of recognition, achievements, awards can come. 9th house, you will go to some pilgrimage, have some, philosophical, spiritual enlightenment. 10th house, promotions. 7th house, promotions. 1st house, recognition, improvement of health. 6th house, service and, ability to pay off debts. 2nd house, it'll show accumulation of money, wealth. 12th house, foreign travels. 8th house, transformation coming in. Getting money through insurance, inheritance. If let's say you've been waiting on inheritance money to come in and it's somehow stuck with some legal matter, Jupiter and Saturn both looking at, let's say, your 8th house where the sign of Gemini or Aquarius is, it'll be like, all right, it's time to really do something and get this thing to you. So the double transit of Jupiter and Saturn is going to something to look out for. And I might make a video giving a lot more details on this and even more on nakshatra, okay? But right now, I just wanted to give a mundane basic detail on what Jupiter will do in the sign of Libra. It'll do the positive, expanding growth in those particular houses. If it transits your 4th house, if your dashas are going right, you can buy another property. But at the same time, there'll just be, you'll just have a hard time compromising. Because Jupiter is a selfish person. Jupiter is like, you won't like giving out things related to that house where your Jupiter might be. So if you have some possessions with you, when Jupiter comes, you may have to give that away. You may be forced because Jupiter is going to activate the rules of Venus. Okay? So guys, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know where your Jupiter is from your ascendant or moon, my books, reports, consultations, for that check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.